Okay, so we use 1 ticket and hope that we will win 3 so that we can receive back our precious ticket, guys. Give me something now. Okay. Sometimes the prayers stay unheard. So, there is a hero which is not very good. We stare down these options. I mean, blue, I'm colorblind. I mean, I don't want to run. I mean, I cannot see blue, right? I mean, that is my specific feature incorporated. Blue doesn't exist. So as such, we do have Ogre Conscript, Arm the Rebellion, or Arm the Rebellion. Okay. Honestly, it's very close. How close? Well, it's either this or it's either this, yeah? Or it's that. Green already has a lot of 4-drops, so if you would do this, this would deteriorate a little bit the green strength, but it's more likely for us to go into green than red, I guess. Whereas this is a very specific 6-drop, which might see some strength if we end up going red. Arm the Rebellion is synergetic with the green creeps, though, so that's definitely also a possible pick. This is also a possible pick. This brings us main into green, which we want to play anyways. This is, I mean, which we want to play anyways, not definitely, but if we already pick double Arm the Rebellion, that would speak very much for playing green, because the green base hero is also giving us a creep, and the creep might also see some buff because of those. Okay, so this is this. Arm the Rebellion is a little bit conditional, but not exactly, because you can also Arm the Rebellion. Maybe you can Arm the Rebellion again, the lane where you already armed the Rebellion, so that your creep survived more, that they had a higher survivability, and then you arm the Rebellion again. So as such, it doesn't really carry diminishing returns. What I'm simply saying is, if we pick one of these, which we definitely do, we might already say, hey, that is a sign for us to go more green. And if we already kind of have the idea to go green, maybe nearly to commit ourselves into green with these two, we don't need to maybe splash commit ourselves, right? So if we do this, we still have the option to go 2-color, namely green-black or green-red. If we play green-red, yes, okay, that would have been better. But if we play green-black, this would have been much better. So let's do this. Just taking a last short look into the chat before we draft more. What I always exclude blue because it's mathematically correct. That is not fun for many. Is that a joke or? I mean, okay. Oh, Nitro, thanks for the hosting. I mean, are you telling me I should play or pick a worse color because? What is the reason? What is the reason? I mean, okay. Sorry, I don't know. Okay. So, I mean, just to be on the same page, right? I mean, you want that I pick the good, that I build good decks, right? You don't want that I build ganky fun decks which lose games, or I mean. Or are we on the same page there? But yeah, whatever. So we are staring down at the Rebel Decoy Satya Duelist pick. Obviously, Selfish Cleric is better than Satya Duelist. I've explained it many times. Maybe I just very quickly do it again. So this is Fortifact. This clears creeps. This is not Fortifact. It doesn't clear creeps. As such, this is better. This is sometimes better in situations where you put it in an empty lane, but why should you put a card into an empty lane? So in average, this just overtakes this by quite a margin. It's not insanely better, but it's better, yeah, because people are usually wondering. And I realized that the fact that this grows might look like a lot of fun, but it's not Fortifact. If this would be 4/4 grow to attack every turn, it would be inherently better than the Selfish Cleric. But that's not what printed on. That is not what is printed on him. He will become better if you have the Draw Ranger. Then this is also better than this because of Fort Effect. But whatever. So, we do have the Dasatyr Duelist. We also do have the Rebel Decoy. The Rebel Decoy is also a good card. And we might consider picking it over the Dasatyr Duelist. In terms of of clear playing strength, or of mere playing strength, the Dasatyr Duelist is much stronger than the Rebel Decoy is. The reason for that is, well, it's just a better card. Even for 4 mana, it's just a better card. But looking down at our curve, we already have 2 4-drops. This is a 4-drop, this is a 4-drop. The base here will also give us 4-drops. So we might miss a little bit out on the curve. So there is a viable argument to say, hey, let's pick the Rebel Decoy over the Dasatyr because of exactly that reasoning. So that, yeah, that would definitely be a consideration. So we have to now wait for us what makes more sense. I think it's actually quite close, but I would still go for the Dasatyr here. Simply because we don't know what we will receive for cards. It's a very close call though. Okay, so next pick. Okay, so Rix Nix, he is just not good. Yeah, let's pick the Grazing Shot, and this might be playable if he also gets when this is unplayable. Yeah, Helm of the Dominator is kind of a black card. We explained that many times. The other ones are unplayable. Zeus, face my wrath. Face my wrath. Okay. So let's take these. So, we are staring down at a green base. Why is that so? We do have, not the Smeagol Armsmaster, but we do have already 4 very good. We have 4 good green cards. What does that mean for us? That means for us that we will most likely end up splashing green. Maybe we will also play 2 green heroes. But it will most likely be that we cannot miss out on green, okay? Number 1. We will have 1 or 2 green heroes. X. I am hovering about X. So X is a red hero. And we will at least splash him, as we did, I think, 2 days ago. Or yesterday, was it? I don't know. But I think it was 2 days ago. So we will be able to splash him. 2 days ago, we splashed him because we didn't receive enough red cards. Now, Berserker's Call is also alright with the base red hero. Because the base red hero, well, he doesn't bring a good card. Actually, his card really sucks. But he comes with good stats, which can also become converted with the Berserker's Call. Okay. So we are staring down at either, if you get more red cards, double red hero, or 1 red hero if you don't. So we will play 1 or 2 green, 1 or 2 red, and maybe also black with 1 or 2 heroes. Usually, if you have the Helm of the Dominator, you want to play 2 black heroes and gold creation mechanics. Okay. But as you can see, if I take out the Grazing Shot, we have no black cards at the very moment. So it's either we are getting flooded by black cards now, then we will play 2 black and then 3 heroes of the other colors. Or we don't receive that much black, then we will end up playing either 1 black hero or non-black hero if you get a lot of red and green cards. Why am I talking about that so specifically? Well, because at the moment we are facing down a pick where we can pick Smeagol Armsmaster or the Iron for Goldmine or the Blink Dagger. These 3 are the options. So, Smeagol Armsmaster is an okay card. It's not even that great, it's just okay. But the Smeagol Armsmaster will receive a small value buff because we also do have Berserker's Call. Berserker's Call is a card which deals battling the neighbors, which basically means your red hero will battle all adjacent cards. And if your red hero can succeed in killing the opponents, then it's amazing value. And the Smeagol Armsmaster is directly synergizing with that, which basically means that makes Smeagol Armsmaster probably instead of average, average plus. Okay. We do have the Iron for Goldmine. The Iron for Goldmine is a good card, but we are absolutely not in black at the very moment. So that makes the Iron for Goldmine probably only average value. But we already do have the Helm of the Dominator, which is obviously synergetic with the Iron for Goldmine. We do have the Blink Dagger. It's probably pretty cool to have one lane overtaking effect for the late game, for the very late game. So if you could get the Blink Dagger for the very late game, we would probably be on the happy side. We would probably be on the happy side. Given that this card is uncommon, we probably won't receive it back. And usually this will also be our only lane shifting effect, because I actually don't like to play other lane shifting effects. For me, there are only 3 possible options how you get lane shifting effects. One is the Blink Dagger, one is the Farseer if you get him out of a random pack, but only if he also gonna play that. And the third is, of course, Town Portaling, but Town Portaling is kind of conditional. Conditional on getting the Town Portals. So we are actually looking down really at the difficult pack here. Keep also in mind that Blink Dagger is synergetic with the Helm of the Dominator in a way that you can put the Helm of the Dominator to something if you get the Helm of the Dominator early. It doesn't look that way at the moment, but we might receive a Bounty Hunter in pack 3, 4, 5. And then you will have the ability to put the Blink Dagger on the Helm of the Dominated hero and alternate the lane wherever you want to have the hero for. So he's shut down from playing any good hero, any good minion or creep into any of the other lanes. Okay, so this is the pick, and it might look like, oh, that's an easy pick, but it's absolutely not. This is doing something different than this is doing something different than this is. From a feeling, I would pick this, but I have to admit that the Arms Master is really synergetic with the Berserker's Call. It's really synergetic. Because that gives you X in combination with a sword 11 attack. And 11 attack is kind of, it's not a magical number, but 11 attack will gank you much more heroes than 9 attack will do. Okay, seriously now. We pick these two just because that probably makes us more open to other options. Other option being if we get the Phantom Assassin or Bounty Hunter on pack 3, we will go for the Bounty Hunter because Bounty Hunter is extremely good with the Helm of the Dominator. And then the Fogmine will also pay off a lot. The Smeagol Arms Master is usually absolutely playable, and specifically with X. But if you end up only splashing X, and that might happen if you don't get many red cards, then this also deteriorates in value. I talked about the Blink Dagger, so let's pick what we do, or let's just pick it. Yeah, we are facing down another Goldmine, so we are the Farseers, guys. It's still not that we are black, but we will pick it over this and this. We will pick it over this and this because it's inherently stronger. And I also picked the Champion because we don't have any 7 mana cards at the moment, and the Champion is rare. No, the Champion is probably better than the Martyr is. That's why we take him. Combat training and whatever doesn't matter. It's really whatever. Escape routes, we won't play them. We already have Blink Dagger. There's no way that we play this, but there's also no way that we play below. There's also no way that we play this Tarsaline. Defensing Bloom is probably the random card. There was probably a crab hero, and the crab hero became replaced by the defensive Bloom. Kimfolk to a Golem is probably nearly unplayable. Wow. Oh wow. Oh wow, man. Oh man. Oh wow, okay. This is. Puh. Oh, das gibt's doch nicht. S tier, for those who were wondering. S tier as well. If you're red, if you're already red, and we are. This is S tier, this is S tier, this is S tier. This is generally S tier, but we are not in black. I'm just kidding with the S tier, but insanely strong, insanely strong, insanely strong. If you're already red, insanely strong, but we are not that definite double black at the moment. And without double black, this is definitely weaker than all these. Insanely strong, insanely strong. Now, in a vacuum, picking these is always okay, but we already do have 2 items which we might play. So if you pick one of these, that basically means I would also always pick this over this usually. Yeah, I explained that many times. Okay, so by picking this, we would put a 3rd item into our item deck. By that, we are basically shutting down the option to pick more items in the future. I explained that I always want to play 3 items and the base items, because these are not inherently much stronger than the base items are. As such, if we would go ahead and would pick the signet ring here, we would already have our item deck filled, and if we get another health item, that would add much less to the deck strength. So as a matter of fact, I would usually like to pick either like this, or I would like to pick this, but given that we will have definitely an early red hero, I think this is the best option, because we also don't have any early red drops at the very moment. I mean, it's a close call, but I think we can definitely justify that, because the Bronze Legionnaire is snowballing, whereas the Ogre Conscript is not. So the Ogre Conscript is of course the stronger creep, but the Bronze Legionnaire, he comes in on 1, kills a creep immediately, and then we take it from there. So he should be definitely stronger. Okay, so why the signet ring over? Why is the Bounty Hunter good with a helm? Because he gives you a lot of gold, and then you can buy the helm. And he generates... keep in mind that the Bounty Hunter, if you kill a hero, he generates 15 gold immediately. 15. And that's very good to be able to buy very expensive items then. All Blink Daggers are being bought by scalpers at the moment, you say. I think that will be probably a mistake, because Blink Daggers you want in constructed. I mean, mostly you want 1 Blink Dagger in your deck. Sometimes in specific, let's say in a Time of Triumph deck, you might want to go with a triple Helm of the Dominator, with a triple Blink Dagger. But honestly, this is an uncome. So how I see it, uncomes and comes will be very low in value. Very low. Yeah, because many people will open packs, and you can only play that many. There's no use to have. I mean, we do have 20. I mean, you will end up with more Blink Daggers you can ever play, and then they will get rummaged at the market. Because what are we supposed to do with those? Yeah. But at the same time, rares are obviously what people will lack. So rares will be very scarce. So what are we looking down at? Crap. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's okay, but we will probably end up playing 1 base black hero if we go black, and then this deteriorates in strength. Bad. This is filler, which we might fill if things are coming together and we don't have enough cards. Bad. I mean, it's okay, but this is weaker than Enough Magic. Enough Magic can do... Sometimes it can, obviously only as a one-off, but sometimes it gives you the ability to shut down a lane. And if you can do so, you just play it, you shut down the lane, and that can be very important, specifically against blue. Yeah, the Beastmaster, I mean, usually it's borderline pick. I think we increase the playing strength of Beastmaster because we already have 1 red hero and kind of some red cards, while not that many. Maybe we are just very early game, then we can justify Kimfolk Golem, but probably not. So maybe the second hero, it might be a little bit too much, because we also haven't received that many red cards yet. But given that we are empty on another pick in this pack, I would go ahead and pick the Beastmaster. Specifically also because we already can guarantee with X that we will play another red hero. And Beastmaster is a card, I mean, he's not a bad hero. He has very healthy stats. He can kill creeps, that's very important. With his 5 attacks, he can kill melee creeps while having a high health total. And he also calls down the Wild, which is a loyal beast, which can also usually kill a creep without dying himself. So that's also not too bad. The card he brings, that's the important part though. So if you splash a red hero and you splash the Beastmaster, well, he can Primal Roar on specifically 1 lane. Primal Roar is a very specific card. Like very conditional. But if we already make sure that we play another red hero, which we definitely will do, we definitely go for the Beastmaster pick here. Another Helm of the Dominator. Never play 2. Never play 2. The reason for that is, once you have 1 in the deck, I mean, there will be the situation where you get a lot of gold maybe, if you have gold creation mechanics, and then you will be able to maybe cycle through to 1 Helm of the Dominator in order to be able to buy 1. The second one becomes inherently weaker. Now, as a matter of fact, because the pack doesn't give us anything, we will pick it anyways. But if we would have had any other pick, I would have picked that over it. I mean, obviously, we play the second Ham of the Dominator over the +1 armor. I mean, that's clear. Oh, there are some blue cards in there. I skipped in deliberately, on purpose. Yeah, that was what I was talking. Jetzt kriegen wir es zurück. Jetzt, this is what I was talking. Yes, good drafting pays off. Okay, Divine Intervention playable. Pinoman. Okay. Ogre Conscript. Wow. Ogre Conscript. Okay. Yeah, the Raftel Signet Ring. Again, we have our item deck filled. Honestly, thing is, if we end up not playing black, I would not like to play the Ham of the Dominator. But not ending up playing black means ending up playing green-red. And if you end up playing green-red, we would also like to have a Rebel Decoy in the deck. So what I'm saying is, we have now the choice to pick the Rebel Decoy, or we have the choice to take the Raftel Signet Ring. Okay, so if we would pick the Raftel Signet Ring, that would mean that we would play Raftel Signet, Blink Dagger, and and instead of one Ham of the Dominator, maybe the second Raftel Signet Ring. Okay, so in which world would we cut the Ham of the Dominator and would take the Raftel Signet Ring over the Ham of the Dominator? In a world where we don't play black. Okay. The world where we don't play black is a world where we play green-red. Okay? So if you end up playing green-red, the Rebel Decoy is probably good, because we will have at least one early green hero, and then we still want early green drops. So in a world where we don't play black, the Rebel Decoy will probably be better than the Raftel Signet Ring is. Not in a vacuum, but if you replace the Raftel Signet Ring for a Ham of the Dominator, that is the case. The second argument is that we might still receive a health item, namely the Raftel Signet Ring or the Traveler's Cloak, in any of these two packs anyways. So as such, this should be the pick. We can also justify Gank. Gank in a vacuum is the better card. Yeah. So in a vacuum, this is probably better than this. But given that we are really not heavy in black at all, I mean, let's say we would put the black base hero, which is not unlikely, because if you don't receive any black hero, then we would need to play the black base hero. And if you have the black base hero, Gank is obviously weaker, much weaker. So do we have a world where we will ever play two black heroes and make use of Payday and Gold Mines? I guess only in the world where we get where we receive at least, I don't know, two black base heroes. Two black heroes, Phantom Assassin and Bounty Hunter. Then we definitely go 2 black, 2 red, 1 green. But that's rather unlikely. So let's pick it in that way. Knocking on the door. Yeah, you don't want to have more than one Blink Dagger in the deck. The reason is, at the beginning you don't want to lane shift, and you definitely don't want to pay 7 gold for 2 attack. So when does the Blink Dagger really receive its full value? Yes, in the late game, and if lanes are already conquered. So what happens if lanes are already conquered? Well, that will usually happen at mana 7 or 8. And what happens at mana 7 or 8? Yes, you already have kind of a lot of gold. If we have a lot of gold, we will nearly always be able to buy through our item shop to the Blink Dagger anyways. And if we do such a thing, then we will be able to lane shift anyway. So we don't really require the second Blink Dagger. Yeah, it's not even good, because yeah, then we can lane shift 2 heroes, but we only want to lane shift 1 hero. And another thing is also the Primal Roar. So the Primal Roar also decentivizes us from playing, I mean, lane shifting effect, specifically not the second Blink Dagger. So we definitely take the card over the Blink Dagger here. Yeah, if that makes sense. And we also already have our item deck kind of filled. If you want to say so. Yeah, we get a Smeagol Armsmaster anyways, so he didn't want to hide from us, and clear the deck is also better than the other cards. So let's take this. Soul of Spring! Soul of Spring, ja klar. Boah, hey, the people are this is so. I mean, I explained it in the draft 3 days ago how strong Soul of Spring is, because Soul of Spring is just doing twice as much as the other rare cards in black and red. So in black you receive 2 attack on all your on the 3 minions. In red you receive 1 attack, 1 armor. In green you receive 4 armor. I mean, that's not armor, but it's like receiving 4 armor. It's like busted. It's really, really, really good. Crossroads, guys. Crossroads. What are the crossroads? Well, here's a card which is absolutely playable for red, a mediocre card. Here's a card which is inherently good, but it is black. We do have a little bit of black, but unless we also get now a black hero, this will probably not see play. So we can either pick the average card, or we can say we take our gamble on getting a black hero, a hard black hero, and then we have access to a better card. Yeah. So these are the options: option number 1, option number 2. I would like to count our red-green cards in order to figure out whether we can even justify playing red-green. So let's do that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we do have 18 cards. We need another 7 because you need 25 cards to fill your deck. This is 19. So we will probably be able to justify green-red alone. There is one thing which might speak against the Burning Oil. The thing which might speak against the Burning Oil are actually 2 things. The first thing is that we will have a lot of early game with X. So as such, we probably will require the Burning Oil a little bit less. And the second reason is we do have also a lot of creeps which might block also a lot of things. So that will also mean that we require the Burning Oil less. Actually, there's even a third point, which is that we already have kind of creep synergetic effects. So if you would play cards, we would like to play as many creeps as possible. And because, given that we already have so many green-red cards, and we only need to pick another 6, we might also go for the Disciple. In which world would we play the Disciple, though? In the world where we receive the black hero now? Yeah, it's very unlikely to receive the black hero now. But if you would receive a black hero now, how would that alternate our game plan? Now, at the moment, we are kind of green-red. How would you play it? We would probably think about playing these 2 and triple green. But we could also Keefe early as well. Keefe early... yeah, but that doesn't make sense because we have... No, actually... no, it probably would make sense, but we could think about something like this. Like Keefe X early, Beastmaster on 5, green here, green base hero early, green base hero on 4. We could think about something like this. So if we would really receive a black hero, how would that alternate? Well, I think we might want to splash black then. Because if you get a good black hero, what is the splash doing? Well, first of all, we can play the good black hero, but he cannot play that many spells. But probably the black hero being good enough might make up for that drawback. We have the ability to play with the black early hero, the gold mines, which is a good benefit. They are also global, but we probably won't be able to justify the payday. Yeah. Right, these are nonsense. Moon! Okay, jetzt zu the draft. Okay, jetzt bin ich schon voll. Oh, now I'm completely out of the... Oh nein, out of the zone. Yeah, you manage it, guys. Now I'm out of the drafting zone. Man, oh man. Oh. Okay, so if we don't receive a black hero, would we... Okay, question number 1. Would we ever consider playing a black base hero? If you play only a black base hero, payday is completely nonsense. Can never do that. What about the Iron for Gold Mines? I mean, just putting the black base hero early is already kind of a penalty. And if it becomes ganked, we draw too many gold mines, okay. What about the drops we can make with Debbie or with the black base hero later? We would not even play the Disciple, by the way, if you put only black base hero. So And we will never play 2 black heroes because of these 3, right? So it's really only about Bounty Hunter, ja? Und do I really pass a Disciple hier? Nein, jetzt kriegen wir Paydays. Hey, das war schon wieder so falsch. Das ist sicher nur wegen diesem dummen Marketplace. Okay, so we get this and this. Probably not playing this. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. We can go completely beast mode. We can go completely beast mode if you want. Yeah, then we take out the black. I mean, we already have 2-2, so... was I forced to pick blue cards? Oh my god. Okay, so... honestly, if you put the Beastmasters away, we have 6-7 drops, just saying. Here, Timbersaw is not a playable, by the way, yeah? We most likely will end up not playing Timbersaw. We might end up playing Timbersaw on 5, but base red here is nearly always better. So with our loadout, do we have an argument to play the Beastmaster? Well, the thing is about the double Goldmine, double Payday. That's very nice if you receive a Bounty Hunter. If you receive a Bounty Hunter, I would play Bounty Hunter early, red hero early, green hero early. Green hero on 4. Guys, let's just pick the Beastmaster and the Satyr, and let's proceed from there. And the Beastmaster, I mean, okay, this is very important. Maybe we should really talk about that, because the Beastmaster is a card. I mean, he brings three Primal Roars, and if you have double Beastmaster, we are sitting on 6 Primal Roars. So, do we kind of want to sit on 6 Primal Roars? And probably the answer is no, because the Primal Roar is number 1, very expensive. As such, we don't want to have many of those. And second, it carries insane diminishing returns. What does diminishing returns mean? Well, whenever you want to have one of them so that you can lane shift one time with a Primal Roar. You want to have it as a very, very late game card. You don't want to have 2 of them sitting in your hand. You definitely don't want to have 3 of them sitting in your hand. We definitely pick the Satyr, and then we can pick either this, we can pick this, or we can pick this. Whereas I believe that if you have the choice between these 2, it's also pretty tricky, because this is inherently the better card, but obviously we are not in black yet, and we wouldn't like to play 2 black base heroes, never, kind of. We already have 2 red heroes. We will probably, with our loadout, we will probably end up putting 2 green heroes. I don't see us sitting with only 1 green hero. Sitting with only 1 green hero just to make this work with 2 black base heroes kind of completely doesn't make sense. I mean, there's one thing about these being very synergetic with being able to buy the Helm of the Dominator. So that's kind of not completely out of the world yet. Hey, irgendwie something is not right in this draft. I don't know. I mean, not the cards. I mean, this is all decent. A very, very good red hero with the X. Absolutely decent hero with Beastmaster, also synergetic with X. That's perfect. We got some decent green cards. We got decent red cards. We have very, very strong red early game. And we have also very, very strong follow-up with a red follow-up with a triple Ogre Conscript. We smasher, basher all the time, and we also have late game into lane shifting after we conquered the lanes. So that's really, really good. But what is blocking me a little bit is I'm looking down at this double Goldmine, double Payday, which is very synergetic with the Helm of the Dominator, but only if you're gonna play and end up playing 2 black base heroes. And the 2 black base heroes are biting, of course, the... it might add to deck strength, but it bites with the principle of... It bites a little bit with the principle of stability. So by adding 2 black base heroes, we will lose stability. But everything might change if we receive an early black hero, because then we can play basically that, right? Then we can play single green hero on 4. We can put base, the black hero bounty hunter, for example, early for the win or something. But that is only if they come up, and that's not even given. Phantom Assassin is usually a first pick, so we cannot assume Phantom Assassin coming by. Maybe there will be a bounty hunter. Most likely there won't be a bounty hunter coming down, so we will most likely end up not playing black. But then again, let's talk about the Beastmaster thing. So again, the Beastmaster brings us Primal Roar, and if we draw 15 cards until mana 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or until mana 7, we draw 15 cards. And that will mean with 6 Primal in the deck, we will have an average 2 point. Yeah. Yeah, so we will have most of the times 2 or 3 Primal in our hand. And the question is whether you want that. If we would put the Beastmaster, how would our hero loadout look like? If we would put the Beastmaster, we would play X first. Because we would probably also play the Beastmaster first. But that's a close call. And a green base hero. And then the green base hero will come in as 4. And then we will put the Beastmaster on 5. So that would be how our loadout would look like. If we do such a thing, we take away the ability that you get a good green hero now. And the good green hero would be Lycan, Trent. Do you really think that we will receive Lycan or Trent? I don't think so. And if we say we can also put the Beastmaster first, we could also put Kifi first, right? Kifi comes with a much worse card. But we still don't have 5 mana, besides the Enough Magic, we don't have 5 mana red card, so the armor and attack is actually playing off Kifi. So Kifi is the base hero, he comes in with 6, 1, 11. So how does 6, 1, 11 compare with Beastmaster stats? So 6, 1, 11, let's say 11 is nearly as 12, so 6, 1 is playing better than 5 attack, namely 2 attack better. But after 3 turns, he will receive also a Call of the Wild Beast. So that evens themselves out. So I would argue Kifi as first hero is as strong as Beastmaster's first hero is. If we calculate out the card. So what is that card doing in our deck and what is the Kifi card doing? Well, the Kifi card in our deck is doing nearly nothing, but still more than in other decks. Because we do have access to Berserker's Call. And Berserker's Call is synergetic with the armor which Kifi's signature spell brings. Kifi's signature spell is +1 attack, +1 armor. And Berserker's Call is very synergetic. So if you give armor first on 5, and then you Berserker's Call on 6, you save usually 2 to 3 life with the armor. And the second one is that also the attack on the red hero is also synergetic with the Berserker's Call. So I don't think and I also talked already about the Primal being very conditional. So I don't think we will even lose up so much by being forced to play Kifi as first hero than Beastmaster. So I believe better pick is not to pick the Beastmaster. So what are the other picks? Meeple Blacksmith is not that great. Rooted in our deck is... We don't really have that much gank abilities. We have gank ability a little bit with Berserker's Call, but that's pretty much it. So probably Rooted should be weaker than Sister of the Whale is. But Sister of the Whale we will only be able to play if we receive a good black hero as a pick now. So maybe we should go down this route. Mann. Okay, Guys, Mann, das gibt's doch gar nicht. Das gibt's doch nicht. Wollen die mich ein... Okay, this is freaking silly. It's completely freaking silly. Okay. Let's count the red-green cards very quickly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whereas this is a filler. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So as a matter of fact, we need 19, 20. So we would need 5 more picks. At the moment, we don't have that, right? If you take a short look into this, no. Combat training, it would be a filler. We could definitely play one of the combat trainings, probably not 2. But we could fill 1, so we are still missing 4 cards. This is non-playable. This would be a filler, so we are missing 3 cards. We will always be able to pick these 3 cards. Next pack, we will probably receive whatever, 1.5, then the next pick we receive 1, and the next pick we receive 0.5. So we will be able to play green-red, if we would really like to do that. Okay, so now we are looking down at the Phantom Assassin here. So what is about the Phantom Assassin? Well, okay, just very quick thoughts to it. Is it ever bad to pick the hero now? So what is the drawback of picking Phantom Assassin? Okay, so the drawback is that we might receive a better hero or a playable hero in the future of this pack. Now we already have picks 2. So what kind of heroes would we even like to pick? Lycan. I doubt there is a chance that Lycan comes down on third pick. I mean, if Lycan comes down on third pick, I don't know. Yeah, there's no chance that the trend comes down on the third pick. If he does, okay, I don't know. Yeah, there are obviously all the rare heroes, but I don't want to talk about those, right? I mean, we could receive Tinker, Lich, Axe, Throw Ranger. No chance that we will receive these in the third pick. So we don't really miss up on picking this now for the future picks in this pack. The only exception is the very last pick. So what is about the last pick? There are two options. Either the players are passing us a bad hero. If the players are passing us a bad hero, picking this now is also better than not picking her, because then we would receive a random card instead of the bad hero, and the random card could be suitable for our deck. So there's a very small likelihood that they picked a good hero, and then, for example, in 30% of the cases, we will receive a random hero. And the random hero could indeed be better than Phantom Assassin, yeah? But maybe it's just Phantom Assassin or Bounty Hunter, then it's the same. Maybe it would be one of the goodies. Maybe, but that's very, very unlikely. Maybe a Lycan or a Trend, that's a possibility, but it's quite unlikely. Yeah? And instead, we receive a card. So I believe to take Phantom Assassin we don't need to take Phantom Assassin if we plan on completely not playing black, right? But Phantom Assassin is a very good card. I mean, she comes with like 9-8, which are alright stats, and her card is pretty good. Specifically, if you would like to end up with double black, and with the double gold mine, double payday, we could opt in for such a thing. Yeah, that we play Phantom Assassin early, we play black hero late, and then we play her. We put the gold mine, and in turn 6 or on turn 5, we payday into Helm of the Dominator. Yeah, I think so. Okay. This and this probably. Bracers are okay, but we already are filled. We have 1-1-1. Bracers we could do if we end up not playing black. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, to justify the braces over the Helm of the Dominator will be weird. We already have Intimidation as a possible playable. If we play 2 green, 2 red, we always play the Intimidation. If we play 2 red, 2 black, 1 green, we might not. But I don't think that the Rebel Instigator is better anyways. The Bracers are definitely not better than any of those. They might be better than the Helm of the Dominator if we decide not to play black. Whatever. Nein, Mann, nein! Hey, boah, okay. Oh Mann. Oh Mann, das gibt's doch nicht. Ihr Noobs. Hey, okay. Oh Mann. Pretty convenient. Wow. Wow. Okay, it was a good call not to take the Beastmaster, that's for sure. Okay. I just very quickly click together the green-red, and then we would consider how it would look with black, okay? Okay. So green-red would look like this. Since we probably don't want to play triple green base here, we would go like this, probably like this. So that would let us end up with a very strong early game base. Very strong. X is farming heroes like crazy with his X. We have this, which is just average in the early deploy, which is fine. And we do have Kifi, who can also strike with Heavenly Force and gang some heroes. So this will confirm some early hero ganks and probably also into nice items item buys into maybe Snowball. We go in as 4 with Farban, which is just about average. And on 5 we have the very mighty Beastmasters, which is extremely nice on 5 because he also brings down the Loyal Beast 1 turn later. And he's incredibly synergetic with our deck, given the triple Primal Roar in our deck. With the triple Primal Roar, we will be able to punish any kind of bad deploys from their side. And specifically because we also play triple red hero, the Primal Roar will shine in its full. What is to be said about the deck? We can never become overrun by random blue, for example, Kanna. We can block that down with the Burning Oil. We have incredibly strong early game with the triple Bronze Legionnaires coming down, killing creeps and staying alive themselves. Prepared to also farm more creeps in the future. We do have the Smeeble Armsmaster, which is synergetic with the X so that we can Berserker's Call, but the Smeeble Armsmaster is also very synergetic with all the other heroes into Berserker's Call as well, of course. We do have the Enough Magic, which is nice as a one-off, but it's not something to be mentioned. We only have the Fighting Instinct in the 5 slot, which is probably nice. We do have Berserker's Call. We do have very strong mid-late game as well with the Ogre Conscripts. We got 3 of those. The Rooted is not even too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's also not completely too bad because we might be able to farm some heroes with our red stuff, specifically in combination with the Berserker's Call. So that's also nice. And this is very nice as a game closer after we farmed them down completely. Taking a look at green, we do have early game with the Wool Meteor and Rebel Decoy, and exactly the amount of early game we would like to have because we have 1 early green hero, and that is perfect to have 2 drops so that we never are flat on early green drops, namely drawing 2 into our starting hand. We can follow that entire thing up with the Arm the Rebellion, which we have 2 of, and this is not only following up on those, but it also is following up on all those 3 Bronze Legionnaires we got here, which is specifically mighty then, because they might become invulnerability status forever unless fighting against the hero. We do have double defensive Blom, which is shutting down some lane if we want to do so. The same goes for the Prowler Vanguards. And we do have double Satyr, which is obviously also a nice option. If we put him down and he stays uncontested, he will also be able to do a lot of stuff. Selfish Cleric is interesting. Keep in mind that Selfish Cleric is very good already, being at 4 mana. And if you compare Selfish Cleric with the Bronze Legionnaire, you will realize one thing. Bronze Legionnaire plays pretty much the same as the Selfish Cleric does. So if you see that the Bronze Legionnaire has 4/2, the Bronze Legionnaire deals 4 attack and will become killed if the income damage is more than 4, is 4 or more. And the Selfish Cleric is the same. He deals 4, and if the income damage is 4 or more, he will also die. If they receive 2 or 1 damage, both will heal themselves fully. The Selfish Cleric as the Bronze Legionnaire. The Bronze Legionnaire is a little bit better if there is rooting of many creeps onto him, obviously, because then the armor plays. And the Selfish Cleric is a little bit better if the income damage is 3, which usually doesn't happen, or if you Ramask Blessing him as well, then he will also be a little bit better. But since he costs 4 mana, he's obviously inherently worse than the Bronze Legionnaires are. Sword of Spring is a very, very strong card. I really am happy that we do have that in the deck. The Divine Interventions, while they are just nice to have as an option to prevent damage if you take a lot of damage onto your board, very conditional, but it's okay to have that. Intimidation, I mean, given that we already have the signature card of Beastmaster, which is Primal Roar, we can actually create lane shifting alternating abilities, and because we do have that, the intimidation becomes much weaker in our deck. How is that so? Well, the intimidation is moving a unit to a random lane. Usually that is a hero, and the Primal Roar is doing pretty much the same. So as such, I don't think the intimidations are very synergetic with our deck, but as it stands, and if you would like to play it in this way, we would need to play that because we have 40 cards at the moment. The champion is just nice also for the late game. Smeagol Blacksmith will never come into this deck, and Stars Align will never come into this deck. This is bad in our deck. This is only a filler. I wouldn't like to play that necessarily if possible. This is only a filler. I mean, maybe we would put out 1 intimidation for one of those. So if we would play red-green, we would put out 1 intimidation because it's so not synergetic in this deck, and we would put either clear the deck into the deck, or we would put combat training into the deck. Whereas combat training is more synergetic with the Berserker's Call, whereas the first clear the deck is probably, or it might be better than the combat training is. Keep also in mind that with the combat training, if we have it in our starting hand, we could also confirm hero ganks with it by playing combat training on this or this, and then we kill the hero because they have 2 more attack then, and then they might gank the hero, which they couldn't before. The Rebel Instigator is not good enough. The Kimfolk Golem in our deck is definitely not good enough. So this would be option number 1. We are staring down on option number 1. So option number 2. We could... I cannot believe that the Trend Protector was there, guys. The Trend Protector in our deck. Okay, yeah, good, guys. Okay, we can put the Phantom Assassin in. What would we like to put the Phantom Assassin in for, and what would be the implication? What would the implications be? Oh, we can also put 1 Phantom Assassin. We can also put 2 Phantom Assassin if you think that we should do that. No kidding here. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kidding. We cannot put 2 Phantom Assassins into the deck, but we could also justify Phantom Assassin and Black Base Hero because the payday is getting much better if you play 2 Black Heroes. Not sure whether it justifies doing that though. And most likely it doesn't. So can we just talk... I would like to talk shortly about the implication of putting a black hero instead of a red base hero. So let's take a look at their stats. So the Phantom Assassin is a hero. If she attacks a creep, it's the same. If she attacks the tower, it's a little bit worse. I mean, if she attacks the tower, it's as much as Keefe is. If she attacks a creep, probably she's a little bit worse than Keefe. But just a little bit, and if she attacks a hero, she plays 10-8. So she plays 10-8 instead of playing 7-11. So how is that? While the Keefe strikes for 7, the Phantom Assassin strikes for 10. So 3 more damage. But for that she also has 3 less health. But she will do it every turn. Keep also in mind that Phantom Assassin has a very high potential to kill specifically green heroes. So if we play Phantom Assassin against a base green hero, this will kill this immediately, which is huge. She will also kill Lycans, and she will also kill Trends. Well, as a matter of fact, people seem not to like Trend Protectors and Lycans, but she's doing her thing. She also kills all blue heroes, but I guess Keefe is not doing that exactly. So she also kind of kills all blue heroes, if that matters. Against the black base hero, however, the Phantom Assassin is worse, because the Phantom Assassin trades 1-on-1, Keefe doesn't. Now, let's talk about the signature. So she will be a little bit better than Keefe. I mean, a little bit better. She is, stat-wise, she's better than Keefe is, okay? But not that much, not incredibly much. So let's talk about the second implication. So the second implication is, by replacing Phantom Assassin with Keefe, we will be able to play less red cards. Or we will be able to play the red cards, but not that versatile. So is that a thing? So some of them are already versatile anyways. Burning Oil is. Rooted is. And because we already have 2 red heroes, I think that we won't be able to play all our stuff in our lanes. Won't matter that much, out of 2 reasons. Number 1, we already have 2 red heroes, so we will be able to put probably everything everywhere we want. Number 1. Number 2, the red heroes are in a way that they don't die that often. And because they don't die that often, it basically means that we will rarely, like basically never have the occurrence that we won't be able to play red because our red heroes are dead. That won't happen because red heroes don't die, specifically not X. So as such, I don't think we lose up a lot on the versatility thing and on the being able to play everything everywhere thing. I don't think we will lose up much on that. Okay? But what we will lose, however, is the ability of specific things. I took the Beastmaster out again. So the primary roar is conditional. So that basically means you can only primary roar units which are, I mean, basically what is written on that card, right? And that card becomes weaker if you play less red heroes. So with one red hero it's horrible because then you cannot even choose the lane where you would like to do that. Now with two red heroes you can most likely choose the lane where you would like to do that, but obviously you have more versatility or heavier possibility to apply that primary roar in a very nice way if you play 3 red heroes. And that is definitely something where we would lose out on if we put the Phantom Assassin in instead of Kifi. So we have a slightly stronger hero stat-wise. That probably equals itself out by not having the ability to play all red cards always everywhere. Maybe it still doesn't equalize out. Probably still Phantom Assassin would be a little bit better. But that we cannot play the primary roar wherever we want, but probably having maybe even exactly that one slot where we would like to play the primary roar and cannot do such a thing, that might already equalize those heroes. But as we know, Kifi comes with a specific card, and the specific card is Fighting Instinct, and Fighting Instinct kind of sucks. Okay? And Phantom Assassin comes actually with a strong card. So Phantom Assassin comes with a card, it's called Coup de Grace, or Coup de Grace, and it kills a hero for discarding a random card, which is good. Yeah. Now the problem is that if you play only her as a black hero, that also means that Coup de Grace is row bounded. And Coup de Grace being row bounded is inherently also another problem we will face. So that is also not good. What about the red early game curve? So we already see that we will play triple early game drops, so that will mean in average we will draw 0.6, but sometimes we will draw 1, so we shouldn't be worried too much about this. But if you get Burning Oil and Bros the Legionnaire, we might have too many red cards to justify only for X. We see that we have 2 4-drops, but that's not a problem because X will never die on round 1, so that's perfectly fine. He will carry also on turn 4. Then there is also a question about the green stuff, but I think given the amount of cards we play in green, we kind of need him to come early because of these 2. And we also kind of need the second green hero for 4 because we have so many 4 spells. Okay. So I don't think we can just play 2 black heroes. That might be a little bit too speculative. I also would like to do that with a Phantom Assassin because the gang also confirms gold. And if we take a look at our item deck, we can already realize one thing. And the one thing we can realize is that if we fill with those items, you can already see that we don't have any other good items if you don't want to play this, this, or this, which are all rubbish. So we will most likely end up putting the Helm of the Dominator into our deck anyways. I was talking about the very sick synergy between Helm of the Dominator and Blink Dagger earlier. So we now have a deck which contains the Helm of the Dominator and which contains the Blink Dagger. So in such a deck, gold will be very important. And Coup de Grace gives us gold. The gold mines are giving us gold, that's obvious. And the payday might also double down on that. Might. I think payday having Phantom Assassin is probably good enough in a deck which has Helm of the Dominator. Obviously we play the Tyler. Let's talk about those cards. This is crap because we already have Blink Dagger. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. So if you would like to play as much gold theme as possible, that would be double payday. I don't mind it too much because I think as it stands now, we can confirm a lot of hero gangs. And after we confirm those hero gangs, we will be able to double down on the gold. And after we double down on the gold, we will be able to buy the Helm of the Dominator in combination with the Blink Dagger, or maybe only the Helm of the Dominator, and probably most likely win the game because of that. So as being a game-winning option, I feel that it's definitely worth to include double payday in the deck whatsoever. They are also not counter synergetic because if you quadruple your gold, you're also not that unhappy by turn 6, right? Yeah. So, what about green? We now can cut 5 cards. Honestly, I'm Yeah, we talked about one intimidation. So I would definitely like to take out one intimidation. I would think about cutting both intimidations. Given that we do have the super call, I think it might be a good consideration to take both intimidations out, because we do have the primal roar as a lane shifting alternate effect later. We don't need intimidation if we already played triple primal roar. Keep in mind that I would like to play some green cards anyways, because we do have the Sword of the Spring, and the Sword of the Spring is obviously specifically strong if you play a lot of green cards. Divine Intervention is not exactly synergetic with the Sword of Spring though, and I think Divine Intervention is a very specific spell which wants to become deployed, yes, it's very conditional. So I would like to play one of those. For sure, but not the second one. And keep also in mind that with Under Rebellion having creep buffing heroes, we should rather cut non-creeps than creeps. So this is a creep, this is a creep, this is a creep, this cannot cut, this is a creep, this is too strong to be cut. We talked about Divine Intervention being nice as a one-off and with 2 green heroes, and this is a creep. It's also the only 7-drop. Taking a look at red, Burning Oil is not a creep, so we might end up cutting this. This is a creep. These are creeps, and also synergize with the Berserker's Call. Also having as an option to put these to attack if you need them to gank a hero might also be come in handy. It's also the only these are also the only 2 4-drops in red we do have, so I would not like to cut them because of that reason. Enough Magic is not a creep, we could cut this. These are creeps. This is not a creep, we could cut this. Okay, so Rooted, I feel in our deck has justification. We do have Berserker's Call, we do have Phantom Assassin. As such, we can always make sure that we gank heroes. First of all, we are red, so red confirms more hero ganks than other colors. Second, we do have Berserker's Call, which will also confirm hero kills. Third, we do have Phantom Assassin, with which we will also confirm hero kills. So chances that we will get off a nice Rooted are actually kind of reasonably there. And Rooted is also diminishing returns, but I also think that you might want to see Rooted in action, as I know you. There's one drawback for the Rooted, and the drawback is obviously that we already have so many 6-drops. So we will usually assume, or we can usually expect that by turn 6 we will probably draw 2 of those, or 1.5. And if you draw 2 of those, that might bite itself a little bit. But given that X is usually not dying by turn 6, and Beastmaster is definitely not dying if he comes down on 5, will survive until turn 6. I think it's probably reasonable to do such a thing. So I would probably like to cut the Burning Oil, because I think we already have enough disruption mechanics against blue, and I also don't want to draw too many early red drops, and I would probably also end up cutting the Enough Magic. I know you wanted to see the Enough Magic in action, but as it stands, I feel that Enough Magic is a disruption effect, while Primal Roar is also a disruption effect. As such, I feel that we have a justification to play it in that way, without putting the Enough Magic in. Keep also in mind that I have the feeling that we are kind of late game, because we do have triple Primal Roar, that's the incarnation of late game. We do have Rooted, which is very much late game. We do have Ogre Conscript, which is kind of late game. We do have this, which is late game. We do have the Ham of the Dominator, which is the incarnation of late game. So I think we can play it in this way.